First of all, The Bear is a great show.
Yes.
But if you have generalized anxiety, you cannot watch a bunch of them in a row.
No, I do have to pause sometimes, like catch my breath and just like settle down. Or sometimes I'll have to fast forward to see what happens. And then I go back and watch the scene because, again, generalized anxiety in that show, it really, really pushes your anxiety to the limit. But it's a great show.
Another show that I had to watch because of my generalized anxiety, and it became too much. And it's one of my favorite shows, and I was like, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Suits, because I'm like, yo, why is it every episode is life or death?
Yeah.
Like, y'all are just corporate lawyers,
right?
Stop trying to save the world every episode. Can it be a happy episode?
Yeah.
But anyway, our brother introduced me to The Bear yesterday, so I've become addicted to that.
Yeah.
But then also people can make suggestions of movies that they say are not good, or TV shows that they say are not good. And me being who I am, I'm like, well, don't tell me that it's not good. I'm gonna go watch it for myself.
Yeah.
So Gladiator 2, I've been trying to get a hold of watching that movie for the longest time because it looked really good. And I love everything Denzel Washington has to do. And Pedro Pascal is a phenomenal, the cast is phenomenal.
Amazing. Yeah.
A friend of mine said, yeah, that movie's not good. I didn't enjoy it. And the first thing that they said that immediately I was like, I'm going to discredit everything that you're saying to me, was that they said, well, Denzel had like a New York accent in the movie. I said, what?
Denzel's from New York.
Denzel from New York, first of all, but he doesn't have a New York accent in general.
He does.
I don't
He does.
really...
It's not like a real hard accent. I think he's done a good job of like getting kind of like a standard American accent, but you can hear his New York accent.
Okay. Yeah. Well, don't get me started on New York accents that have faded through the years, because my bestie is from Staten Island, and I only hear that New York accent when she get around other Staten Island people, and I'm like, oh, there it is. I get it. But you remember how certain people from the Bronx and Brooklyn had specific accents, and you're like, I know you from there. It's gone. They don't really have that anymore. Anyway, so I watched Gladiator 2. The movie is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was Shakespearean in its story. And I was telling another friend about the movie, and they agreed with me. It was like, yeah, it's when you bring it up, I didn't think of it like that, but it is Shakespearean in the storytelling. Mm-hmm. And I was telling them about the friend that told me that it wasn't good. And then that person said, well, maybe it was just too intellectual for him. And I was like, I didn't want to say that, but
if you were just looking for, big fight scenes and stuff like that, and the movie ended up being a little more cerebral than that. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list. I haven't seen it yet. Then, sometimes people, maybe they have to, like, there's times where I'm expecting a certain thing. I watch the movie. It doesn't give me that. I don't like it. But on second viewing, now that I know what the movie is going to give me, I appreciate it more. So maybe they just need another viewing. Now knowing how, knowing what they should expect from it. Maybe that'll be it. I don't know.
Well, the person was like, the first movie was better than the second movie. And I was like, I remember the first movie, and the first movie is great.
Yeah.
Like, Russell Crowe did a fantastic. Gladiator is great.
Yeah, that's the reason why they made a sequel.
Right. And sequel 20-something odd years later. But actually, the story makes sense why they would do it 20-something odd years later. But I was just thinking to myself, and I was just like, yeah, but this story is better. Like, the story is actually better. I don't really think it's that cerebral. I really don't. I thought it was Shakespearean, and I know Shakespeare is, like, you study Shakespeare because of the plays.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was that cerebral.
Okay.
It wasn't like, what's a movie that's real cerebral? Is you right? Not confusing, like those movies like Tenet and
Tenet was just bad. Like Tenet was just bad. But like Inception, where you got to think.
But also Inception is kind of confusing.
It is, because at the end you still don't know what you don't know what happened.
And what's the other movie where it was Matthew McConaughey and he goes back in time and
Memento?
No, where he's in
that's
space.
Not Matthew.
Where he's in space.
Matthew McConaughey.
And he goes back in time. Like he goes
Interstellar?
Yeah, Interstellar. Like
Yeah.
Interstellar can kind of be cerebral, but also like I'm trying to think of a real cerebral movie. And I guess I really don't watch cerebral movies, but I don't feel like Gladiator 2 was one of them. But because the story was Shakespearean, it's more than just we gonna fight to the death and I'm gonna avenge something.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.